Pakistan is picking up on growth as the world is being opened up after the COVID-19 lockdowns. This has increased the current account deficit to an extent which is unsustainable. In the month of November alone, it has reached $5 billion. If the trend continues, it may end close to $16 or $17 billion, which is 5.5% of the GDP. The government wants to reduce it to 4% of the GDP, primarily through monetary policy, exchange rate management, and in chasing policy rates. Although the net impact is marginally positive, it may have huge negative social consequences. A study shows that it will push 6 to 8 million more people below the poverty line.
This is at a time when after COVID-19, we did see a precipitous fall in the employment levels and a rise in poverty. Also, it is going to bring down the GDP growth rate by 1.25 to 1.5% as compared to the government's target of close to 5%. So we'll be in the range of below 4%.
Monetary policy as an instrument of stabilization slows growth. As a result, people lose lower level jobs. This results in further inequality that results in more poverty. The state bank is made to chase the ever-changing inflation targets. Therefore, the wage increase should be linked to inflation. The situation is not well communicated to all the stakeholders. The state bank should have an integrated internal research agenda and communications policy.
Deliver on price stability, not on moving inflation targets, but keep the inflation target low. The idea should be, or the framework should be, the social impact of that inflation, not only exclusively that what is growth enhancing inflation. A growth enhancing inflation can at the same time reduce, the increase inequalities and poverty at the same time.
Policy should focus on social well-being of the most vulnerable as Pakistan continues to face high and volatile inflation. The situation is unprecedented in most of the countries with similar situations. Sustaining low and stable inflation for a longer period of time must remain as a central agenda for the government and the central bank. For this, the state bank needs independence on policy implementation.
People are experiencing inflation. They are essentially experiencing loss in purchasing power. They are not really interested in knowing this is because the global commodity prices have gone up or government has been borrowing too much from central bank. They may be explanatory factors you may want to document in the report, but to communicate to the public, to convince them that this institution, the central bank, is serving in the best interest of the population, they have to explain and do a far better job.
When the government tries to control inflation through monetary policy, it uses fiscal means as well. So it cuts further on fiscal space and its ability to provide social safety nets. As the asset market responds first to inflation, this also creates a wedge between assets price inflation and the goods price inflation.
In case of Pakistan, inflation rate is determined by multiple factors, including excess demand, managed prices, exchange rate depreciation, international energy prices, and other supply side bottlenecks. Now, in this case, if monetary policy is not complemented by other government policies that are more focused on supply side, then monetary policy has to be more aggressive to contain inflation.
For any new paradigm, we have to build a narrative first, or it will be viewed by the stakeholders unevenly. The need to start a larger debate and an interaction among stakeholders is a must. An operative approach must be kept working.
हमारे यहाँ से बहुत सारी इन्वेस्टमेंट जो गई है वो वापस आने लगी. We are setting up new industrial zones. We are setting up. KP is the only province which has an industrial policy, sir. और वो policy के अंदर जब आपने जो initiatives देने होते हैं वो changes in the monetary and fiscal policy उससे impact आता है.
We must understand that wealth, income, and consumption inequalities exist simultaneously. This is further complicated by the interaction of the informal sector, which is large and where a markup of 2% per month is charged.
Interest rate in Informal sector informal sector is more than 25. You take the 5%, they are providing a loan from 20,000 to lakhs, so many lakhs.
The research and communications attached to the monetary policy should be structured to provide input to the parliamentarians for a meaningful discussion at the floor of the House. This is to enable an informed legislation on policy framework.
Evaluation of monetary policies is probably one of the most important tasks that countries should do, because monetary policies have a direct bearing on the lives of people. But this evaluation cannot be done by central banks alone. And there's a role for, of course, the government, the parliament, the civil society, for which perhaps the public-private dialogue is very important, and monetary policy should become part of the mainstream public-private dialogue in the country.
Monetary policy should be aimed at maintaining low and stable inflation. For that, transmission links of the monetary policy must be understood so that the social footprint could be determined.
Inflation management so important because the state bank is responsible for anchoring inflation expectations. Volatile inflation is anti-growth. It hurts the firms and the households, and therefore it is important to understand how state bank is trying to control and stabilize inflation.
The discussion on the state bank law and the monetary policy has gained momentum as the IMF insists on independence of the central bank. The independence not from the policy, but to conduct operations without pressure from the finance ministry, which often needs fiscal space through monetary expansion.